Welcome to the Networking with Michelle podcast, the show dedicated on providing you the how-tos of marketing and networking strategies. Here we believe in the Jim Rohn quote, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Hey, good people. Welcome back to the Networking with Michelle show. I'm your host, Michelle Gomez. Just want to say thank you. I have a lot of good news in store, some announcements as well. First of all, if you listen to the episode on Monday, I was interviewed by my colleague, my friend Natasha Wade of Shatterbox Coaching, shatterboxcoach.com. She's a life and career coach, so shout outs to her. I hope you enjoy that episode. That's actually one of the few episodes that I listened to, and I thought it was very interesting, as I'll say. I actually kind of felt like we did that interview a little bit too early. We did that in March, but I kind of waited a little bit longer because some, things are always popping up. So I kind of wish we got that in there, but I'm very happy with that interview. Very grateful for Natasha with her time. I love the way she broke down the interview. Michelle, the podcaster, Michelle, the person, and Michelle, the purpose. And cheers to another 100 episodes or so, right? Oh man, I'm so grateful. A couple of things. First, last week, I was putting some stuff together on Sundays. I'm either putting my podcast together or my client's podcast together. It's going through iTunes, and I don't do this much, but I did it this weekend, and I saw that I was ranked in iTunes as one of the top business podcasts, and then one of the top business in the career section podcast. And I'm very, very grateful and humbled about that opportunity. And if you have iTunes, if you have Apple, they have different sections, business, and there's like marketing, management, careers, and education, art, science, there's thousands, millions of podcasts broken down into different categories. And it's stiff. There's a lot of competition. Like, podcasting is a lot of work. 2 years ago, I joined the Podcasters Paradise community, led by one of the top podcasters, John Lee Dumas. And I mean, there's dozens of people joining this community a month, launching their podcast. And I hate to say this, but there's also dozens of people that they either don't start or they don't last. I mean, you can go through several podcasts that are up on iTunes that maybe they stopped recording a year ago, 2 years ago. Some people that started in 2011 stopped, picked it back up in 2013, stopped, picked it back up in 2016 because podcasting is getting hot. And there's this thing we call pod fade, where people just fade away, like they're nowhere to be seen. And iTunes, they have a couple of sections: what's hot, new and noteworthy, and a couple of different things. And for me to be listed as, it was like I was 199 out of 200, right? But there's only 200 podcasts, and I was fortunate to be listed on the top business, and then in the career section, I'm still there, but it fluctuates. So it's been number 9, 16, 26, 164. But the good thing, the positive aspect of that is that it increases visibility, which can pique curiosity, which can lead to more listens, subscribers, downloads, and all those good things. So I just want to thank you for your continuous support of being a faithful listener, a new listener, for all of those people that have left reviews over the years. I truly appreciate it. I actually got some new reviews recently, which sparked me to this. I am running a contest, and I was like, hey, if I can really push my reviews during this moment, I think that would be great. So this is the contest, right? And some people already have a head start because they're subscribed to my newsletter or they follow me on social media. But maybe you just wait for me to release these episodes. You're a little bit behind, but I'm going to let you in anyways, right? So I'm running a contest, right? This is what you can do. If you are an Apple iTunes user, if you listen to my podcast on iTunes, it would mean the world to me if you can write a review, what we call rating and review, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star and a review. Do that review, send me a screenshot. You can email it to me. You can tag me on social media or hit it in my someone on Instagram. Just send me a DM, Facebook Messenger. Get my attention, and I'm going to enter your name into a drawing in order for you to win either a $25 or a $50 gift card from Amazon, because it's just general. Everyone loves Amazon. I'm addicted to Amazon. I'm pretty sure you are too. So yeah, so do a review, send a screenshot, email it to me. Whether it's email or social media, whatever, just get it to me. I'm going to enter your name into a drawing for you to win a chance to get a $25 Amazon gift card and a $50 Amazon gift card. So there's going to be 2 winners in that, right? $25 third place, $50 second place. Now, this, I gotta let you work, okay? You gotta work for this. Other option is, for the grand prize winner, you can do a quick video on how the Networking with Michelle show, how this podcast has impacted you, whether it's in your personal life, your business life, networking. Maybe it was a certain guest that just brought a ton of perspective to you. What did you like about that episode? How has this show changed you? And I don't care if it's a small change or a big change. How has this show impacted you? And send me that video. Once again, email, social media, tag, DMs, whatever. I'm open, and I will enter your name and a chance for you to win a 90-minute strategy session with me. Okay, so some people are probably like, Michelle, why are you doing this, right? Why not another gift card? Why not $100, $200 gift card? And that's real easy. I could do that. However, I have a lot of people, a couple of people that reach out to me online, whether it's, hey, can we be accountability partners? Can you look at my website? They ask me questions in Instagram. And I'm open to all of that, right? And I can answer your question. But lots of times I may need, or you may need, a little bit more of a deep dive when it comes to your overall business, social media, all of those efforts, right? And I want to take a moment to do that. And some people have told me, let's just say this. I'm willing to put the time in. I'm willing to invest in you more so, not just with the podcast, but by jumping on the phone with you and figuring out what we can do to move your business forward. Okay. And this can be about anything, how to start a podcast. Maybe you want to be interviewed on a podcast. This can be about anything, networking, connecting, writing a book. I want to reach out to you and help you the best way possible. Okay. So if you want these details, go to michellegourmet.com/contest. Those details are there. It's also on my Facebook, my Instagram, through my Twitter. Once again, my newsletter. It's available to you, and I'll probably say it again. All right, so this is good up until Sunday, May 21st. 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time is the cutoff, right? And then I'll make that announcement on Monday, probably on social media first, and then eventually on one of the episodes. Okay, so that's my way of rewarding you. Third place winner, $25 gift card. Second place winner, $50 Amazon gift cards, I should say. And then the first place winner will do a 90-minute strategy call about you and your business. All right, so hey, this episode, yes, I did the episode with Natasha, a great episode. But one thing that was really on my mind and my heart was the things that I've learned by having a podcast, the things that I've learned over the past 2 years, 100 episodes. And I'm working on a couple of things regarding that. But I wanted to focus on a few things, and I feel like everything's kind of coming together in an interesting way. The first thing that I've learned is discipline, right? And a lot of y'all don't know this, is I feel like I've been in the online marketing space before all of this, right? I remember in 2007, I started my blog on WordPress. I was still doing music, entertainment marketing at that time. That was 10 years ago. I was like 22. I was in these streets. I was in the club, passing out flyers, promotions, guerrilla promotions, um, tagging the street posts with like the big flyers. We'll staple it and we'll just push it up. And you have like 3 or 4 flyers on a night post outside in front of the club or whatever the case may be. So that was when traditional / guerrilla marketing was really popular. And of course, there was MySpace, and I was writing, was freelance writing for a couple of entertainment magazines, indie magazines, and I was getting free music from labels, and then I'll turn around and interview their artist. And I was, some magazines, you can write an article, but sometimes it's not guaranteed or the payment's delayed or whatever the case may be. And I was like, man, what can I do to kind of, like, I always want to do my own thing. Like, I just always want to do my own thing. And somehow I decided to have my own website. I was like, I can have my own website. I can post what I want to post, because I was flooded with content. I didn't know it at the time, but I was just flooded with content where labels were sending me press releases. And as always, there's only so much time in the day. Maybe I could do the press release. I can post that on my website now. I can get the interview next week. And that's what I was doing. I don't even want to say it was a bootleg website because it was so new. WordPress was bootleg in itself, right? It was like 2006 when WordPress started. And I had a blog in 2007 called newphenomenon.com, nuphenomenon.com. And it's still up, actually, because I don't have the password or anything. But yeah, I was just posting stuff, all of the music stuff that was coming to me. But the thing was, at that time, I didn't have anyone to look up to. Like, blogging was so new. I didn't have anyone to look up to. I didn't know what I was doing. And because of that, I lacked discipline and I lacked consistency. Fast forward to 2 years, maybe 8, since this podcast is 2 years old. And this online marketing, social media / Web 2.0 has evolved tremendously, but there's so many people doing it. There's so many people to get resources and information to. It's actually a lot easier, right? Now, it's a lot more noise, a lot more content, so it's harder to break through, but it's actually easier to get started because we're just flooded with information on how to step 1, 2, 3. And I struggled with blogging because I didn't have the discipline to write. Even when I left the entertainment side and I was trying to do a couple of years ago, maybe 2009 or 10, I was still working at Chase. I started a nonprofit. I was trying to get that off the ground called financialachievement.com. And I was hoping to do financial blogging. Just fell completely, right? And there was a couple of different reasons why it failed on the nonprofit side as well as the blog side. But it costs nothing to blog, right? Even if I couldn't get the nonprofit up, I should have still been able to write, but I didn't have the discipline to write. And I don't know if it's maturity. I don't know, now that I'm 30 or something, obviously that I'm sure that has something to do with it, age and overall maturity that comes along with that. But podcasting has really disciplined me when it comes to work ethic. And I also think that it's due to, I can see the demographics. Like, I can see the people listening. And yeah, you have Google Analytics and Jetpack and all these other blogging analytics or whatever you want to call it. But there's just something different. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just something different. And somehow podcasting has really disciplined me. I also think it's the fact that since I do interview guests, it's like, oh my God, like this person, this on the other end, they may not be in a good mood either, but somehow we're holding each other accountable. It's like, we don't want to, even though I've never met this person, this is my first point of contact with Michelle and vice versa. It's like, we don't want to let each other down. And podcasting has allowed me to practice a great deal of discipline. Like even right now, I didn't want to record this episode. It's Tuesday afternoon, 3:00. It's 45 minutes. I got to get on the road and go teach a class, right? But I was like, I got to get it in. I got to get it in because I know people are listening to the point that if they don't hear from me, I'm getting messages. And that's a good thing. So I think podcasting discipline has been the greatest thing that I've learned when it comes to podcasting. In correlation with that is consistency. And man, when I first struggled, it was rough. It was rough. I think I said it was the ugly, the bad, and the good, literally in that order, because, start listening to all these other podcasters and you're taking elements from this person and that person, and it's not you. It wasn't me. And it was just foolishness. Okay. Like my person. And the thing is, when you steal from other people, yes, that can be a compliment, right? But when you steal from someone else, like your personality doesn't shine through, right? You really have to, like, even though you steal it, I don't know if this is going to make sense, right? But even though you steal that thing, that tip from someone, it's like you still need to practice to make you come out, to make your personality, the things that make you eccentric and different to come out. And that wasn't happening. Like I was so green. Like I'm new to podcasting. It's been a while since I've interviewed people. I'm new to this technology because I was doing interviews via Skype and all this kind of stuff. Like everything was just so new. And then I have the nerve to steal formats from people. And it was sad. It was just sad, right? And then I got tired. Like I was pod fading, as they would say. I was just, what I knew from podcasts was one, John Lee Dumas, who was doing an episode a day, 7 days a week. And then I think he had like another show at that. Or you did it once a week. And then you have people like Pat Flynn. He had 2 shows, Ask Pat, which is 5 days a week. And then he had Smart Passive Income, which is the weekly show for about 45 minutes to an hour. And the thing is, you're looking at all of these people that are established and you think you can do what they do and you can't. Like I didn't have the stamina for that. And I was dragging and I was stopping. And then I was like, I didn't miss like 1 or 2 weeks. I was missing 6 weeks. And somehow I had a conversation. I got a lot of good advice in 2015 and 16. And somewhere along the line, that late 2015, it was like, all right, Michelle, if you're going to do this, you got to double down and do it. And I promise you, for the past year and a half, I've been very consistent, or I'm trying to be now. I may not always release in the AM, but I try to, and I don't worry about that either. I used to be so stressed out waiting on my engineers to get the episodes to me. And it was just like, look, I can't control that. It is what it is. I got so many other things to work on. But I doubled down. I was like, Michelle, you have to be like, if you're going to do this, you have to be consistent. And that's why I felt so good this weekend when I saw that on iTunes, because it's like, as soon as I made up my mind to be consistent, like things have just been happening. Like it's really those small wins. It's the consistency and it's the small wins that like go unnoticed. You're just I don't know. I'm just happy. I don't know how to explain it, but I cannot emphasize that enough. Like you have to have the discipline to be consistent. You have to have the discipline to be consistent in order for you to win. That's with anything in life. Period. And when I saw that in iTunes, that's all I could think of was like, because you were consistent, you deserve this, and it's just so pivotal after, 2 years in April. Obviously, if I stayed on track, I would have hit my 100 episodes last month, but I had too many breaks. And then I eventually went to twice a week. So I was able to catch up. But, I lost my train of thought. But basically, just got to be consistent. And I think, that is why this weekend was just so pivotal, because I felt like, all right, you've been doing this for 2 years. You're approaching 100 episodes this week, and now you're ranked in iTunes. And I don't have a lot of listeners, y'all. I do not. I have an average podcast. That's all I can say. I have an average podcast. I don't have hundreds of thousands of listeners. I get about 1,000 to 2,000 listens a month. Okay, just very core audience driven. Okay, and I thank you for that. So it's nothing big, it's nothing flashy here, but it's definitely something faithful on both ends. All right, the third thing I've learned since podcasting, and I'm really about to put a lot of emphasis on this, the power of the ask. The power of the ask. And I was listening to my interview that I did with Brandon Jones from Woke Podcast. Check that out. I'll put the link in the show notes. And we kind of talk about this. And one thing he said, he was like, Michelle, that's really your whole thesis. And there's so many reasons why I started this podcast. However, this podcast is based off of networking, relationships, value-based networking, blase, 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 right? But it's the power of the ask. In order for you to move forward, it's a give and take, right? And I think so many of us get caught up in, if I give this to person A, I need person A to give it back to me. But that's not the way life goes, right? If you give to person A may give to B, and you need to give to person C. And I really believe that's how the power of the ask is. Some of the people that I've been able to interview, I can't even believe, right? And I just ask them, hey, you like to be on my show? Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, let me figure this out. Let me get these questions ready. Let me read this book. I can't believe it. And I don't want to say too much of this because I feel like Natasha did a good job pulling this out. But I really want to encourage you to just if you're doing right by yourself and right by people, it's okay to ask. If you're asking with good intentions and a pure heart, go for it all the way. If you feel like you're equipped and you're prepared, you have something to give, you have something that's going to benefit the other person, you know what you need to learn from this person, you know what you need from this person, ask. You'll be so surprised how many people want to help you. And I'll say this, a couple of things, right? One, a lot of people are like, hey, if you need help, let me know. All right. The thing is, we're all busy. I'm busy. If you say if you need help, let me know. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't even have time. I don't know what your skill set is. Okay. I don't have time to fumble and figure out oh my God, what is Jason good at? I don't know you that well. I'm not even going to waste my time on it. But if Jason comes to me and he says hey, Michelle, I'm strong when it comes to public relations because I have XYZ experience, I'm like, oh, cool. Hopefully I get one of these books out and I'll contact Jason, hey, Jason, okay, this is what I'm working on. I'm close to getting these books out. What can we do? How can you help me? Right. But so many of us, we're saying stuff, but the person doesn't know. So always ask and put your strengths out on the table. This is what I'm good at. This is my skill set. Also, show that you're credible, right? And maybe I need to do a blog or a video on this. And people are like, okay, well, Michelle, you have a platform. Everyone wants to get interviewed. Not everyone wants to get interviewed. I think I've only received 2 no's when it comes to these interviews. And one of them was recent. He was going out the country. And the first person, this was 2 years ago when I was just starting out, he had a problem with my disclaimer. I was like, okay, whatever. I've done 66 interviews in the past 2 years, and I've had one person that had a problem with my disclaimer. And I moved on. I moved on, right? The person go out of the country. It's about timing. I still got to find guests, okay? So people ask, well, what's in your email? How do you pitch? What I usually say, this can vary. The guy that recently said no, he focuses on sponsorships. But I heard at least 2 of his interviews. I heard, how can I say this? He had 2 interviews with the same host, Grant Baldwin's podcast. But Grant Baldwin, he had an old podcast that he stopped, and then he has a current podcast, okay? And I put that in the email. I was like, hey, Jason, I like what you're about. I've heard you previously on Grant Baldwin's podcast, and right now I'm looking for a guest, a speaker, when it comes to this topic. Would you be interested? My show caters to millennials, focusing on marketing and networking strategies with a little bit of entrepreneurial advice. Average interview is 30 to 45 minutes. A Skype interview. I put my Skype name in there, and I send the link. Click here to schedule an interview. All right. So I try to put all of that in there so that way they know what they're getting into. None of that. It's very rare that I go back and forth with the guest. Well, I don't know. They know what they're getting into. It's going to be a Skype interview. They know how much time to allocate, and then I have the link for the schedule. Okay. Well, they're like, all right, Michelle, well, I don't listen to podcasts. Okay, cool, whatever. I have a lot of authors on my show. I was like, hey, I just read your book, or I came across your book somehow. It was a great read. I would really love to dive a little bit deeper into this on my show. Once again, I cater to millennials that are transitioning. Basically, we've been in corporate. Some of us have grad degrees, but we're experiencing this type of transition in life, or they're pursuing entrepreneurship and side hustles, and we need to market ourselves better. 30 to 45 minute interview via Skype. Click here to schedule your interview. That's how I'm pitching to these people. It's not rocket science. It's very matter of fact, and lots of times people are like, hey, I'm interested, but I can't find anything in the schedule. That's a whole nother topic right there, because I have a very tight window. Okay, because my time is valuable. My time is precious. And I got a crazy teaching schedule. But I put that in there. And then if they say they can't do it, I was like, okay, cool. I'll follow up with you when my new interview slots open. And that's what I do. Hey, do you want to get in this time? I'm like, yay or nay. Okay. But there's power in the ask. And that's just me pitching on my platform. But you can do the same thing. I know we have bloggers. I know we have other content creators that listen to the show. So don't be afraid to ask for that interview, ask for that mentor, ask for that media opportunity, ask for any opportunity that you feel that's a win-win that for both parties, and that you're able to leverage, whether it's gain a new skill, increase your network by one person, increase your income or revenue. Just ask, just ask, just ask, just ask. And when you ask, tell me about it. I want to know, how did it go? Good or bad? Hit me up. I really want to know. All right. The last thing, give time and money. Give time and money. I'm all about giving, contributing. That has changed over the years and the way that it looks. Before, I would give a lot more time. Now I'm trying to give financially a little bit more. I am not rich by any means, but got a couple of dollars here and there. And I got people that listen to the show and that are on my newsletter that have reached out to me and like, hey, can you jump on the phone real quick? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. There has to be a balance with that, right? Because I can't spend time with everyone. I can't give everyone my knowledge for free, especially when I specialize in consulting. So I have to charge for certain things. But I definitely find ways to continue to give back. give time, give money, whether it's through a strategy call, answering questions via email, social media, donating books. J. Kelly Hoey, we had a great interview. I bought her book via Kindle. She was so impressed. The publishing company sent me a book just as a host, and then she asked me if I wanted books from my guest, right? And I've had other opportunities just come up, just, making myself available, or because I gave something to them of value, right? However you want to measure it. So I'm just grateful. But overall, those are the 4 things that I've learned in 100 episodes. 66 of those have been interviews. Once again, discipline, being so disciplined that you're consistent, the power of the ask, and still continuously giving my time and giving money to a good cause. I just had a past guest recently send me a link to her GoFundMe, so I'm definitely going to contribute to that. There's so many ways to give to people, right? So I want to encourage you to stay focused, stay completely focused on your overall goal. So, what are you working on? I'm still talking about these books. Look, it has been a struggle. I got a lot on my plate right now. Teaching at Remington College is very overwhelming right now. I teach 4 weeks. For 4 weeks, I do a split shift where I teach from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. And I'm drained after week 1, day 3. Okay, I'm drained. And still trying to go for 4 more weeks or 3 more weeks. So it's been a big adjustment. And then the 4 weeks after that, which initially I was supposed to be off, but I end up teaching in the evenings from 6 to 11. It sounds like a lot of time in theory, but it's really not. Okay. But I'm always trying to squeeze stuff in to get stuff done and move the needle forward in some type of capacity. Working with the Houston African American bloggers, we have our annual boot camp coming up on Saturday, August 5th. Early bird tickets are $20. We'll have the link in the show notes. After that, regular registration, I think it's $30, and then late registration is $50. So if you're a content creator in Houston, I want to encourage you to come out. Some of the things we're going to talk about is personal branding, social media. We're going to have a panel on curating content through video and technology, as well as a workshop on influencer marketing, which is really hot right now. So if you're in the Houston area and you create content, YouTube, blog, podcast, whatever the case may be, if you know someone, tell a friend. If you're an entrepreneur looking to break into influencer marketing or to get your word out, visit the Houston African American bloggers.com. Come to the event. We'd love to have you. So that's been taking up a lot of my time right now as well. Still working on some of these books. I'm just overthinking. I wanted to do Connect with Confidence. Wrote most of it, didn't like it last year, postponed it. Have moments of inspiration that come up, think I'm on the right page, but I don't know. I have Success Undefined. I can't speak too much on that right now because I want to make sure things are in order. And that's pretty much all of this is a spinoff correlating to the brand, or from the book to the podcast to a book again. But all of this needs to come out really soon, hopefully this summer. Some of these things are going to be free. Some of things may, take a coin or two. So we'll see how things go when the final product comes out. I'm going to go through a soft rebrand when it comes to, the brand of Michelle Gourmet, as well as conveying that on my website. If you've been following me for some time, I no longer call myself a networking coach, because what I realized on my cards, I was saying networking and marketing strategist. And of course, there's a lot of network marketing groups and companies here in this big city of Houston. So I'm always getting invited and pulled into that. And that's not for me, but I have friends that are doing it that seem to really enjoy it and doing very well. So now I'm playing on the connection strategist, and I think it will make more sense if I can get this Connect with Confidence book out. So yeah, all I can do is laugh when it comes to that. But those are the things that I have in the pipeline. Once again, I'm so happy right now. I'm very grateful with just as crazy as all of this may seem. I'm just happy for being able. I'm grateful for being able to do the podcast, able to go to work, able to teach, able to, see my mom and my brother and celebrate family and friends, whether it's on social media or the phone. And I'm just in a good spot right now. So I'm very, very grateful. So look, about to wrap up here. Once again, I want to remind you about the contest. You get a chance to win a $25 and a $50 Amazon gift card, or you can go big. You can do a video and say how this podcast has impacted you, whether it's in your personal and or business life, favorite episode, whatever the case may be. I would love to hear from you, right? And I don't only have to hear from you when it comes to a contest. So never hesitate to reach out to me. A lot of good things are happening. A lot of good things are happening right now, not just for me, but for you. And remember, I believe in you. And a personal connection leads to an influential network. So thanks for networking with Michelle.